the systemic breakdown of America before the Lord destroys it. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, glory, and honor that's due to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Barcha HaKodash, and double honors to the elders and apostles at Great Millstone who rule well, and peace and blessings to the 144,000 and the hopeful elect. Shalom Barakatham. Didn't have too many precepts in mind. A couple come to mind on the topic at hand, but as you can see, I'm scrolling through these headlines, okay? And as we're told to make it plain upon tables so that he may run that readeth it. And what are we making plain? I'm just going to go to it real quick. The prophecies, okay? I want Habakkuk too. Okay. Habakkuk 2:1, I will stand on my watch, upon my watch, and set me upon the tower, and will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I shall answer when I am reproved. And watching goes into prophecies. What are we watching for? Things that we are expecting to happen. Okay. And it says, verse 2, and the Lord answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables that he may run that readeth it. So when the average person goes through all of these headlines and they see what's going on, what does all of this mean? Okay, well, we are able to come through with the scriptures and break down where things are going and how things are going to ultimately end. And it's going to be the destruction of America. And you can see it by the various news events that are coming out and proving that this place is basically falling. All right. You know, now there's on this first one, this Zohran Mamdani guy. Okay, there's a lot of controversy with him being a so-called Muslim, you know, being the mayor of New York. But that's hypocrisy. Okay, why is it hypocrisy? Because they preach about America being a country of immigrants. You can come here and be great, you know, be a citizen, you know, and live out the American dream. But if you're really not of their ilk, of the same cloth as them, they got an issue with you, you know, because most of these so-called brown, so-called black positions, they're tokens, okay? They're tokens. They practice hypocrisy upon their tongues. I forget. Yeah, Isaiah 32:6 is what I was thinking about. For the vile person will speak villainy, and his heart will work iniquity to practice hypocrisy. So, while it's supposed to be a free country, okay, they want really one type of individual. Okay, they only want the illusion of freedom. Okay, that's why Mamdani is getting so much controversy. It says, and to utter error against the Lord Yahweh, to make empty the soul of the hungry, and he will cause the drink of the thirsty to fail. And which you see that now with all of this economic turmoil. Okay, things are not affordable, and on top of that, he's persecuting you for student loan debt. All right, at the same time, he's putting tariffs on the world, causing more inflation. All right, and he's about to cut food stamps, and he's cutting food stamps. Okay, all at the same time. You know, so this is all a setup, man, and this is a systemic breakdown of America before the Lord destroys it. Okay. What else did I see down here? Look, Lindsey Graham boasts CIA preparing to execute more anti-I public figures on live television. Okay, and this guy, he's a bloodthirsty demon on behalf of you know who. You know, and everybody's calling him out on it, man. Okay, everybody's calling this guy out, man. What does it say in Job? Where is it? Job 20 and 22, in the fullness of his sufficiency, which is where he's at now, he shall be in straits. Okay. That's how the Lord had Egypt. Okay. And that's basically what Egypt means. Okay. It means double straits. All right. And that's what America is in. Okay. This pressure that you're feeling, this weird direction things are going, you know, women are masculine and men are feminine, and cheap things cost money, and food destroys you. Okay, where the information you consume actually destroys your ability to know things because your attention span is down. Reading used to increase, your attention span and your ability to focus, but now it destroys it because everybody's clicking on headlines. They're watching these short videos. All right. So things are upside down. Things are in straits right now. Okay. It says, every hand of the wicked shall come upon him. Okay. Every hand of the wicked. Okay. And he is the wicked. Okay. When he is about to fill his belly, the Most High shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him. Okay. And the Lord was going to put him in straits, just like Egypt in the latter times, man. Let me go to that word Egypt real quick just to prove that point. Should be Matazarium. Yeah, Mizrahim is the name of Egypt, but it's Matazah. Got Matazarayama. Matazarium. Okay. It says here double straits. Okay, and how do you get the double from? This word Matazayar. Okay. And it means to be besieged. To be besieged. Okay. Defensed, fortress, fortified. Okay. Siege, enclosure. When you're sieged, what up? What are you? You're locked down, man. You're trapped. Okay. And Egypt was known as that. That's the name of Egypt. And this is exactly how Egypt went out. That's how the Lord got rid of them. Okay. Excuse me 1 second. All right. And the Lord said also what? He's going to hit Egypt with plagues. Salakia. It was in the Apocrypha, 2nd Ezra 15 and 11. It says, but I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm and smite Egypt with plagues as before. Okay. So what Egypt is he talking about? Okay. And will destroy all the land destroy all the land thereof. All right. I'll read 12. Egypt shall mourn, and the foundation of it shall be smitten with the plague, and punishment that the Most High shall bring upon it. Okay. So that means it's going to be utterly through. When it's smitten to the foundation, it's going to be utterly through, man. All right. And there's no way you can get around this, because look, Elon Musk joins billionaire race to control all life on Earth, pushes AI satellite networks to regulate sunlight. Okay? So now you see the Lord's got to show up, because what is regulating sunlight going into? When you read Jeremiah 31, I believe it's 31. It might be 32. Let me see. Yep. Yeah, Jeremiah 31 and 36, 35, I'll start at. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, which giveth the sun for a light by day, all right, and the ordinance of the moon and of the stars for a light by night. But he wants to come along and regulate it, all right. Why is he doing that? That's symbolic, because he knows he's never even been outside of the earth, man. Okay, it says, which divided the sea when the waves thereof roar. The Lord Yahweh of hosts is his name. If those ordinances depart from me, saith the Lord Yahweh, then the seed of Israel also shall cease from being a nation before me forever. Okay, and so what does he do? He wants to regulate the sunlight. You know, what does regulation mean? You know, he will turn the earth into darkness. He will do that. Okay. Look at all of this going on, man. Michelle Obama had to work hard to appear feminine. You know, the rumor about her, all right, which wouldn't surprise anybody. Okay, why? Because going back to Egypt, what did the Lord say? In Isaiah 19 and 14, it says, the Lord Yahweh have mingled a perverse spirit in the midst thereof, and have caused Egypt to err in every work thereof, as a drunken man staggereth in his vomit, man. Okay, and that's going to be a plague. Okay, out of control spending, you know, runaway consumerism, people just buying things. They can't stop buying things. They don't even need them. They just buying them. Okay, somebody else got this, I got to get that. Okay, you got a brand new 2022, you know, M series BMW. Somebody get the 2024. You got to get the 2025 now. Okay, you see, these people are drunk. Not to have no idea what's going on, man. Okay, and they're going to be dumbfounded when the prophecies and the scriptures actually start to come to pass. Okay, they're gonna have all kind of questions, and all of a sudden, then, you know. So that's a plague, man. Okay, and this is something the Lord does before he gets ready to destroy this place. He divides it and he hits it with plagues. Look, preschool kids offered non-binary gender pronouns by Queensland's education department. You see, you know, UK sends Ukraine more long-range missiles. Okay, and they came out and told their citizens they're gonna have to get this certain ID if they want to work. Okay, while other nations are just being given things, because you starting to see this thing is run by the devil, man. It ain't not all these democracies. That shit ain't real, man. Okay, nobody knows who's who, what's what. You know, man, woman, all of that. This is confusion, man. And the Lord said that this thing would happen. This would be part of the plagues, man. Okay, let me go 2 Ezra 5th chapter real quick. Okay. Where is it? Is it? Yeah, I just started at verse 1. Nevertheless, 2 Ezra chapter 5, verse 1, nevertheless, as coming the tokens, behold, the days come that they which dwell upon the earth shall be taken in great number, and the way of truth shall be hidden, and the land shall be barren of faith. That's a plague, okay? You can go into Ecclesiastes 12, Isaiah 24, about how the mirth of this place is going to drop, okay? Faith is going to be at an all-time low, all right? Nothing to believe in. They're just pissing in the wind, waiting for the government to come do something for them because they can't read, they don't know news, they can't critically think. Okay, that's where Satan wants you, man. All right, and that's where the majority of you Americans are. Okay, but iniquity shall be increased above that which now seest, or that thou hast heard long ago. All right, but wickedness is still gonna flourish. Jake will still be wise to do wicked things. Okay, they figured out how to make a bag off of selling feet pics. Okay, they figured out how to scam. You got Kia boys can hack a vehicle. Okay. And the same nigga can't read past the 8th grade. All right. So we're living in a time of destitution. All right. It says, "And the land that thou seest now have root, shalt thou see waste suddenly." Who's that talking about? America, man. And look at all this going on. Look. Leaked Anne Heche documentary shows Ellen sex trafficking. I shouldn't have said that word. But orphans to King Charles, okay? How much is left? Netanyahu warns it is anti-S to criticize. You see this right here. If I can highlight it. Like Bernie Mac said, what type of shit is this? All right? It's getting ready to go down, okay? These are not just random news headlines. This is the Lord showing you this place is ripe for destruction, okay? Verse 2 Esdras 5:4, "But if the Most High grant thee to live, thou shalt see after the third trumpet that the sun shall suddenly shine again in the night, and the moon thrice in the day." What does that represent? Confusion. The Lord's going to confound this place. That's why you don't know up from down here, man. Okay? That's why saving money actually causes you to become even more poor. Okay? Because he's constantly printing money, devaluing it. Upside down world. It says, verse 5, "And blood shall drop out of wood, and the stone shall give his voice, and the people shall be troubled." So they're not gonna, they're gonna be hit with things. The Lord's gonna flip everything upside down on them, man. Okay, a lot of strange things are gonna be going down as well. Okay. Remember that when you read Wisdom of Solomon 17, 18, and 19, you get an idea of what the Lord was doing to them in Egypt, man. Okay, he's really jacking them up at them 10 plagues, which the Lord said he's gonna hit Egypt with again. Before what? Before the final plague, which is destruction by fire. Okay. Verse 6, and he shall rule whom they look not for that dwell upon the earth, and the fowls shall take their flight away together. Okay. And the Sodomite sea shall cast out fish and make a noise in the night, which many have not known, but they shall all hear the voice thereof. All right. So it's going to be a lot of death, a lot of destruction. Okay, it's gonna be a dark period, a dark time. That's what's ahead of you. Okay, and it's gonna be right when it seems like there's a lot of light at the end of the tunnel. Okay. Verse 8, "Therefore there shall be confusion. There shall be a confusion also in many places, and the fire shall oft sent out again, and the wild beasts shall change their places, and minstrels women shall bring forth monsters." So you can see. This is a revving up like a crescendo, okay, before the final judgment happens. And you can see why, man. Who wants to live in this world? Look, hundreds of deadly chemicals found in infants' clothing. What? Why? How hard is it to just give cotton, wool, linen, But he's just gotta poison everything, man. The destroyer. Okay. So what does the Lord say about this? That Isaiah 34, I'm thinking about, might be 47. I'll read 34 and 1. Come near, ye nations, to hear, and hearken, ye people, let the earth hear. Because America's going to get the worst judgment, but all of you nations globally are going to get touched, okay? Y'all have a lot to pay for, okay? It says, let the earth hear and all that is therein, and the world and all things that come forth of it, for the indignation of the Lord Yahweh is upon all the nations, and his fury upon all their armies. Okay? So what did that tell you? World War III is part of the recipe, you know, that rhyme. Okay? It says, he hath utterly destroyed them and have delivered them to the slaughter. Their slain also shall be cast out, and their stink shall come up out of their carcasses, and the mountains shall be melted with their blood. Okay? The Lord's about to get violent out here. Okay? For all of y'all thinking he's just a forgiveness ATM. Okay? He ain't going to do nothing. He ain't going to judge. He going to come and save and, you know, lower the prices. Okay? Verse 4, and all the host of heaven shall be dissolved, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll, and their host shall fall down as the leaf falleth from off the vine, as a falling fig from the fig tree. Okay, what's the main point I wanted to go to? Verse 5, for my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea, and upon the curse of upon the people of my curse to judgment. And what does it mean the sword's bathed in heaven? Those ICBMs. Okay? Yeah. It says the sword is filled with blood. The sword of the Lord Yahweh is filled with blood. It is made fat with fatness, and with the blood of lambs and goats, and with the fat of the kidneys of rams. Okay? So this is the fattening process. Okay? All you getting proud, all you getting slow, stupid, you know, lazy. Okay, addicted. Okay, you're the fat man. Okay, for the Lord Yahweh hath a sacrifice in Basra and a great slaughter in the land of Idumea. When you go over to Isaiah 47, sure, I really should have read. In verse 2, it says, take the millstones and grind meal, uncover thy locks, and make bare the leg, uncover the thigh, pass over the rivers. Okay? So there's going to be an exposure to you, man. Okay? That exposure is going to happen as America's getting hit with plagues, because this is the example of how not to rule. This is what you don't do. Okay? We tell you this over and over again. It says, thy nakedness shall be uncovered. Yeah, thy shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance, and I will not meet thee as a man. Okay? So the Lord is not sending the lamb to give you a message this time. He's going to send the lion this time. Okay? He's sending the lion. Jeremiah 4 and 7, the lion is come up from his thicket, and the destroyer of the Gentiles is on his way. He is gone forth from his place to make thy land desolate. That's what's getting ready to happen, man. Okay? And thy cities shall be laid waste without an inhabitant. All right? So you can see the division in this place, man. Okay? The 10 toes getting ready to be broken up, man. You know? So just a general news and prophecy I wanted to go into. You know, I'm going to end it there. Lord willing, this is edifying. Call halal Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai Bashim Rachakadash Shalom. Kwam Yasharov.